So franchisors really need to remember a few things. I guess most importantly is without franchisees, they don't have a franchise system or they don't have a brand. So, really they're the most important part of the system. But I think the other thing that's really important for franchisors to remember is that franchisees coming into their system are scared. They've probably invested a lot of money, maybe their entire life savings, maybe their entire retirement into this franchise business, and they have certain expectations about what the franchisor is going to be able to do, and how they're going to be successful, and that was a good investment. So always keeping in mind the fact that franchisees may react in a certain way, but a lot of times that's out of fear for the success of their business, fear for their family, fear for their livelihood and their future. So I've been doing this for over 22 years. So there have been a lot of challenges that have come across in that time frame. A lot of them have to do with bringing out new programs, new initiatives. From the franchisor's perspective, things that are good for the entire system, but maybe each individual franchisee doesn't see the benefit to them. So a lot of those challenges are getting people on board, getting people to change. Change is very difficult for all of us, but especially for franchisees, especially those that have been in the system for a long period of time. So what I've learned over time is you have to be patient. You can't expect everybody to be excited about everything you do right away. You've really got to go out and you've got to show them what the benefits are to them, how this is going to help their business, how it's going to make them add more customers, have more revenue, be more profitable, whatever those types of things are. Show the benefits and just be patient, work with them, listen to their concerns, address those concerns, and everybody will move forward together. So a business owner who's thinking about franchising their brand needs to realize it's going to be really, really difficult. There are hundreds of new franchise brands coming into the market every single year. And there is a limited number of people looking at franchise opportunities. So it is going to be a struggle. You can have the best local business, you can be doing, extremely well in whatever that industry is that your business is, and you think there's an opportunity to franchise. You have to realize that there's a hard fact that less than 5% of new franchise companies that emerge will have more than 100 units in 10 years. And only 18% of franchise companies will ever have more than 100 units. And only 5% will ever have more than 500 units. So it's hard. You have to really put together a plan and really evaluate the opportunities for your brand. And is there an opportunity to get to that point where the royalty revenue is going to cover your expenses, is going to make you profitable? And unfortunately, for the majority of new brands that come onto the market, that doesn't happen. And they never get to that point where they can be successful, and most either crawl along for some number of years or disappear from the market altogether. Franchisees thinking about joining a brand, just really need to do their homework. I think the most important thing that they should look at is this something that I want to do for the next 10, 15, 20 years. Really understand the business, understand what's required of them, understand, how hard is it going to be to get to the size business that makes sense for them, where it's generating the revenue that they need. Talk to other franchisees in that brand, find out what it was like for them to go through that startup process. How long did it take to get to a certain point? But they really need to make sure that it's a good fit. They can look at a lot of different franchise opportunities, a lot of different businesses out there. Is it the right one for them? Don't just be attracted by the financial model or how much money they can make. They really have to enjoy the business, enjoy the work, enjoy what they're going to be doing, to make sure that it really makes sense for them and their family. If I could go back in time, that would be pretty cool. What advice would I give myself? I think, some of what we've already talked about, but really, listen to franchisees, understand each of them as individuals, but also understand that you have a franchise system that everybody needs to be part of. Everybody needs to follow that system. You can't customize it for each individual franchisee, as much as that may make sense, especially when a brand is small and doesn't have a lot of units and you want to try to make everybody happy, get people on board. You have to realize that it's a system, and that's what they bought into. They need to follow that system. So, understanding each individual and exactly how they utilize all the different parts of the system and helping them to do that. That's probably the best advice I could give myself, or I could give anybody new coming in that's going to be working in a support role with franchisees.